If you're planning a trip to the Bahamas, then you probably consider staying at the Atlantis. And if I assume correctly, then there's two things cross your mind. Is the Atlantis the best place to stay? And two, is it worth the expensive price tag to stay there? And so in this week's video, we're gonna do a complete review of the resort, the Atlantis. Cue the intro. First off, let's talk about the rooms at the Atlantis. And so at the Atlantis, there are several different towers that are divided up throughout the entire resort. Each tower are slightly different based on cost, as well as a few different amenities. And so for our trip, we actually stayed in the Cove, where we were upgraded primarily due to remodeling, as well as COVID restriction and limited capacity. And so in our room in the Cove had everything that we needed and was a very decent room. Nothing to write home about, but I would say it had a spectacular view overlooking the entire Atlantis Resort along with an ocean view. And so it should be noted that we particularly aren't huge advocates of nice rooms. Why? Because we rarely stay in the rooms because we're always out doing adventures. So as long as we have a nice, safe place to rest our head at the end of the night, we're satisfied. So we urge you to do a little bit of your research when planning your trip to Atlantis on which specific tower you would like, because there are various levels of prices that are associated with the towers and rooms available. But I would say they do have a plethora of options for those who want to spend little or more money based on their room preference. Next on our list is dining options within the resort. So there are several options inside the resort, as well as there's options outside the resort that are closed. What we particularly found is that the food inside the resort was very overpriced, as well as mediocre. And so again, this was average from a taste standpoint, but I would give them credit. They do have a variety of options, anywhere from sushi, Italian, or American cuisine for those who want variety throughout their stay. But again, you will pay the price of being on a resort. But that can be assumed when eating inside the resort. So what we urge you to do is go just slightly off the resort, where you're gonna find a whole village alongside the water that offers up a ton of different options from a restaurant standpoint, where you can pick and choose at a much lower cost than inside the resort. Another thing I wanted to bring up and talk about was the staff. And so throughout our entire visit, not sure if it was just the week that we went on, but the staff wasn't all that friendly. And so the service that we got both at the restaurants and at the pool was not that great, especially for the price tag that we paid to come to the resort. And so maybe everyone just had an off week, but again, we were not satisfied or pleased by the level of service we got from a variety of members in a variety of departments throughout the entire resort. So hopefully again, it was just a bad week for everybody, but something to mention in this review.
Before we get into our favorite part about Atlantis, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Next, let's talk about the pools and water slides here at Atlantis. The water slides were incredible. They had slides for all levels of adventure. Our favorite slide was Leap of Faith. This water slide was almost a 40-foot vertical drop that went straight through a shark aquarium. They also had a lazy river and a variety of pools for your leisure. However, it should be noted that the pools of the resort were nice and what you needed, but again, nothing to ooh and ah over, but they did the trick. But again, if you're really up for adventure, please check out the water slides at Atlantis. You won't regret it. Does the resort have great water slides, but they also have great access to the beach. Here we get to go snorkeling and swimming in 3 different areas around the resort. The warm water mixed with the white sand beach was amazing. It should also be mentioned that they have snorkel gear and life jacket readily available, as well as a lifeguard around for your safety.
So there you guys have it, a quick review of the Atlantis Resort. And so in short, the Atlantis Resort gets its name and fame from being a well-renowned resort. However, we were a bit disappointed with what we came to experience. Now, don't get me wrong, we had a wonderful time and certainly considered going back, but it didn't live up to all the hype that we were expecting. And so some of the key highlights again were the slides, the beach, and overall ground decor had a real Atlantis underwater feel. However, we weren't pleased with the overall service, the dining options, and the expense level for what we paid versus what we got. So do your own research, and if you are going to the Bahamas, consider checking Atlantis, especially if it fits into your budget. And if not, we feel there's other places you can stay at that you can still have the same great experience and or pay for a day use pass to Atlantis so that you can ride the water slides and see the beach without having to pay the expensive hotel fees. So comment down below if you like this type of resort review content. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on another adventure coming your way. And so I'm Matt from the Adventure Buddies, and remember, life's an adventure. Who are you going on it with?